Hi, Heather and Micah here with Pinwheel in the Wind. And today we're just going to sit back and chat and talk about what it was like transitioning from one to two kids and some tips and tricks to help you along the way and things that we did that really seemed to help our oldest daughter adjust to the change. So grab some coffee, get comfy, and let's chat. So while transitioning from one to two kids is a really big deal for you, it's an even bigger deal for your firstborn, for your oldest. Their entire world is about to change. The only thing they've ever known is this family dynamic. They're not used to transition, and so it's your job to help them through that. And so I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks that we did with my family and my oldest daughter that really seemed to help her adjust and lovingly embrace Micah. So let's get right into it. Before you have the baby, it's always good to have an open dialogue. We were constantly telling Arya, Mommy has a baby in her tummy. Micah is in mommy's tummy. And we were constantly telling her that through the whole 9 months. Then when Micah was born and she came to the hospital to meet him, we were able to explain to her, oh, Micah's out of mommy's belly now. Come look. And so she looked at my belly and she noticed it was smaller. And then she looked at Micah and it seemed like all those dots connected. And she's like, oh, okay, this is the Micah we've been talking about for the last almost year. And so I really feel like that helped her as well. It wasn't just this, oh, here's a baby out of nowhere. Another thing to help before your due date comes is to stock your freezer with freezer meals. It's actually really easy to do. You can do an entire month's worth of freezer meals in like maybe even just 2 hours. There's 1,000,001 recipes on Pinterest for easy freezer meals. If you don't have a slow cooker or a crock pot, get one. Make a bunch of dump dinners, which is basically you throw the chicken and the sauce and the vegetables into a bag. And then after your baby is born, all you do is take that bag out, dump it into the crock pot, and turn it on. 6 hours later, you're going to have a home-cooked meal. It really takes the pressure off. Don't even have to think about it. You don't have to cook. It's just done. Was a huge lifesaver and something I encourage everyone to do. So that would be tip number 1. Make some freezer meals, stock your freezer so that that pressure of cooking and, taking care of your youngest with food, your oldest with food is already taken care of. Tip number 2 would be to remember that your oldest is still a priority during this time. It's easy with a newborn baby to think, oh, the newborn is the priority, and then mommy and daddy recovering is the priority, which is very true. Those things are extremely important. But a lot of times, then the oldest child kind of gets pushed by the wayside and ignored. So some ways that we did this in our family is we started mommy-daughter date nights and daddy-daughter date nights. We will do 1 month will be mommy and daughter month, and the next month will be daddy-daughter month. And so in September, I'm going to take Arya out for a special mommy-daughter date. We're going to go and do something just her and I. The baby will stay home with daddy, and her and I are going to spend that time connecting. And then in October, daddy and her are going to do the same thing. Now, some things to be careful of is, number 1, you don't have to spend a ton of money, but don't do something that's free that's not going to be a connecting time for you and your child. So by that, I mean, don't say, okay, I'll take you to the park today when there's going to be other kids at the park and your daughter is going to, or son is going to go and play with those other kids and you're going to sit on a bench on your smartphone. That's not a mommy-daughter date or daddy-daughter date. That doesn't really connect you with your child. That's your child playing with other kids. And so you want to do something that's going to be you and your child connecting. Put your phone away, leave your phone at home if you even could. Maybe put in a glove box so you have it for emergencies, but make it a special time of I am focused on you and you alone. Let's go do something fun together. And it's really been a great way to make sure that I am still connecting with my daughter, even though my life right now is more babies and feedings and diapers and things like that, I still want to make sure that I'm connecting with her on a one-on-one level and she's still feeling that love from me. Another thing that we did to try and help our daughter maintain stability through this great transition that she was about to go through is we started a family tradition that we were going to have before the baby came and that was going to continue after the baby came and hopefully for years to come. And for us, that was family game night. So we started a family game night, which it can be a little tricky with such a young child. But we started this family game night, and it's something that we were able to carry on after the baby was born. We're still doing our family game night every week, and it's something that she can cling on to as her whole world is changing. It's something that's stable, the same that she feels safe in, and that she knows is going to happen each week. Like I said, games with a 2-year-old or younger sometimes can be a little bit tricky, but coming out this week, I'm going to make a video on our favorite game for the 2 to 5 age range. It's so much fun. It's even educational, and our daughter loves it so much, and it's super cute too. So make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss that video. Another thing that I found very helpful to make sure that I'm still connecting with her is to start Tot School. That's not for everybody, but having some activities that I was excited to do with her and once again gave her that one-on-one time. Even if I'm holding the baby, my focus is still on her, learning red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. What's going to come next? Just those simple activities. It really, I feel like, helped her adjust because she was excited for it. She was excited for that mommy and daughter learning time. And so that's another idea if you're looking for ways to still make sure that your first one is feeling connected. So tip number 3 is to give gifts to and from the new baby or between the siblings. What we did was we bought a gift for Arya, but we said, this is from your brother Micah. And we bought a gift for Arya to give to Micah. Actually, really what we did was rewrap one of the baby shower gifts, and we had her pick out what was her favorite toy from the baby shower, and then we rewrapped it, and she was able to give it to Micah. But what that did was it made it kind of an exciting time. Your baby brother, he wants to give you a gift, and do you have a gift for him? And I was so surprised and impressed by how well this worked, because she came in and the toy that she had chosen to give to Micah was this little baby book. And she came in and she went over to Micah and she grabbed the book and she decided to read the book to him. And then I was totally surprised by this, but she even then prayed over him and said amen and gave him a kiss. And that was their very first interaction with each other. It was just such a sweet way for them to meet each other for the first time. And that helps build excitement for your oldest as well of, this is an exciting thing. This is something, to celebrate. And so that would be tip number 3. Give each other or give the siblings gifts one to another so that they can start that bond, really strong and fresh and celebratory. Along those same lines is find ways for your oldest child to help you with the baby, for them to feel kind of take a little bit of ownership, like this is your baby brother or baby sister. I need you to help me with them. We would say, Arya, can you go give Micah his passy when his pacifier would fall out of his mouth? And she took such joy in being able to go and help her baby brother stop crying. And we would say, Arya, can you read Micah a book? What it did was it created this atmosphere of Arya taking joy in spending time with her brother and taking, a little bit of ownership of he's a part of the family now. And she'd love to grab a book and go and show him the pictures. And she would just light up and be overjoyed if something that she did made him laugh or made him stop crying. She took pride in that. And it was cool to see their bond and their relationship grow through things like that. So from the time he was a newborn, with supervision, I would have her do little tasks to help with him. And so for you as a parent, if you can think of different ways to help foster that relationship to start off to a really healthy start, like the gifts or like helping your older one help take a little bit of responsibility for the baby, really starts your family off on a really good foot. So I encourage you to do that as well. And remember, just like it was with your first one, it's even more crucial now to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. A lot of times as mommies, we just kind of put self-care on the back burner, and we just focus all of our energy into taking care of our kids, which is good and it's something that we should do. But at the same time, we do need to make sure that we are making some time for ourselves and taking care of ourselves. It's scientifically proven that if you are feeling stressed out, if you are feeling anxious or angry, or even if you're playing with your kid but you're not enjoying it, it's scientifically proven that your child can tell and that your child is going to reverberate those same feelings. So if you're super frustrated all the time because you are completely burnt out, your toddler is most likely going to start acting up a lot more because your frustration is going to rub off on them. And so it's very important to make sure that you are taking care of yourself, finding that mommy time. You know what? If the house is dirty, the house is dirty. I know we've all read that meme on Facebook and Pinterest and Instagram and everywhere. But the saying, you know, you're not going to remember if your house was clean 20 years from now, but you will remember the time you spent with your kids. But it really is very true. Now, I'm not saying let your house just get trashed because that's going to stress you out and that doesn't help. But you don't have to have your house completely spick and span every second of the day when you have babies and toddlers at home. So it really is critically important for the mama to take care of themselves and the daddy to have themselves taken care of. And the last thing that I want to say is right along the same lines as well, but it's, are you enjoying your kids? Your kids are a gift and you need to be enjoying them. And if you are so worried about them acting perfectly in public and having a perfectly nutritious diet and the house being spotless and all these, you know, just different pressures that we tend to put on us or maybe society will put on us, chances are you're probably not really like enjoying every day with your children. And so take some time out. Don't worry about nutrition. Don't worry about, you know, how clean the house is. Don't worry about schedule or they have to be down for their nap exactly at 12:30. Just take a day and just go out into your backyard, buy some Lunchables, make it completely no stress. Don't worry if they get dirty or whatever. Just let them be kids and you take the time to enjoy them, to watch them playing in the yard and just go play with your kids. And like I said, forget the schedule just for a day, just for a lunch break, just for, you know, a time, but to have that time at least weekly where you're really intentionally enjoying your kids is really crucial in making sure you have a really happy home. So congratulations on your new little one coming or that has already come. I hope that these tips and tricks work for you as well as they've worked for our family. I hope that you liked this video. Leave it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below for other moms or dads to read of what are some things you did with your child transition that really helped. Or maybe something you even just read off the internet and thought was a cool idea. Thanks so much. Until next time, bye.